Hi, good morning. Thank you for joining us for our family business interview. Our first question will be, can you introduce yourself and your business briefly?
My name is Nicholas Tan. So our family business involves selling crockery products that covers all your kitchen needs, from bowls to kitchen utensils, as well as your daily usables like water bottles. And we actually operate both retail and online with over 8 brick and mortar stores. So me as the son, I would be in charge of the online business, while my dad will be taking care of the traditional brick and mortar stores.
Founding story of the business.
Okay, so my dad, Tan Ing Chuan, actually established this company under the name of Chonex and Berhad at the year of 1999 until 2014, so around 15 years. We have around 50 pop-ups around Klang Valley, as well as other provinces like Johor, Penang, Malacca, Terengganu and Kuantan. But we had experienced a very severe case of mismanagement of staff and the issue of overexpansion, as we found that staffs were keeping part of the profits into their pockets, given that time we had no POS systems implemented. So then my dad thought of, why not open a shop and focus on it, on that one sole shop, and that's where we started N.A.E Kitchenette at the year of 2015 at Center Point, Bandar Utama. So we became popular when the Malay crowd had a sudden interest on our products, as our products were anonymously advertised on Facebook in 2016. It was the year when FB's advertising started to have its ground, and people are very much into social medias. And from there forth, we had slowly expanded from 1 to 2 to 8 permanent shops today. And my role, however, is only started out 2 years ago.
Next question. How do you consider this business that your dad established is a family business?
I think I would say that it is a family business, as the first generation, my father, the founder, is currently taking over the company, and my involvement as the second generation, being the digital marketing director, helps out the company by expanding its horizon through online. And maybe soon one of my younger sisters may involve as well upon graduation, and each of us will be responsible for our own expertise. So yeah, there are family involvement in the business, therefore family business.
Does your sibling have the intention to be part of business in the future?
I think only my younger sister will play a role in the future, or she have the intention to be part of the business, because she have some entrepreneurial cues or characteristics that we inherit. So my dad, me and my younger sisters, we have a common gesture whenever we get into meals at restaurants. We would always take a plate up and look at the brand names printed on it. It is sort of like our family trademark movement. So the other sisters, however, who is excel in design and advertising, most probably will work for big corporates, as our business wouldn't be able to fully push her to the limits.
Okay, I'll move on to the next theme. Okay, who initiated innovating the business?
I think I started out recommending an online platform for customers to shop without wasting the effort to travel all the way from other states just to buy a product. So I think it is me.
What was your dad's response towards the new idea? Did you have a hard time convincing him?
Initially, my idea was knocked off as he thought that it would be ridiculous for customers to bear such expensive shipping fees or packaging costs due to our product being heavy and fragile. But I thought it would be a waste just to use social media platform as an omni-channel for exposure so that customer will be able to know our name and come to our retail shops. But eventually, 2 years ago, he gave me a 3-month period to try it out, as he had started to see how other business had integrated the social media selling. Of course, we had conflict of interest at first, but we never hold overnight grudges. Anyways, it was fortunate that COVID-19 had hit and all the classes had go online, thus I have extra time to work on the online platforms.
Did the conflict of interest during discussion of new ideas brought back to the family members? How did it look like?
To start it off, before I helped out my father in his business, before this recommendation of idea, I had tried out different things like Forex, which happens out to be multi-leveling scams, and figure skating coaching and other ways to find income for myself. But he wasn't very much fond of it. So when I discussed new ideas to him and he was not as hard-headed as before, he knew I have a great desire to earn money. So it took few dinners until he gave me a 3-month period. And the dinner would pretty much be like, after I had recommended it, we would be discussing few sentences on it and shift on to another topic. Only when he was in his good mood, fortunately, he had slowly to accept it.
How did you guys go around solving the conflict due to the difference in opinion on innovating the business?
Like I mentioned, conflicts on whichever topic we face would usually be ended with a rational discussion on both ends, positive or negative. So as my dad would always quote by a book by Stephen Covey on a chapter, always think with the end of mind. If we had not come to a conclusion, we would once again discuss during lunch, work or dinner until we find a correct decision. But yeah, very much a rational discussion, no burdens.
How would you describe the trust among family members?
In trust defined by our own family values would be built through the actions we do every day. As we always say, action speaks louder than words. It portrays one's personality.
Next question. Do you think the trust came naturally because you are all family members of the trust gradually grow as a family member work together in the family business?
I think trust began to really build when we have family members working together towards the goal of bringing more wealth for the family. So the capability of one is judged whenever we share ideas during dinner discussions or when we work on a promotion, regardless if the response is a success or a failure. I think it leads to building trust given the work we put in.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you about the question strategic entrepreneurship in family business. Could you tell us the background of your family revamping the business? And when and what was done and how was it done?
Okay. So the revamping of the business is done recently, around 6 months ago, and this is the second time we revamped the business model. The previous one is the Tronex in Rembahat. So we would usually discuss on the new logo design, which location to choose, what kind of store design, how should we place the product shelves to maximize customers' purchase basket. my sisters would usually be the ones surveying potential designs and make a 3D modeling out of it for all of us to picture it on. So choosing the location was the hardest, as this will be the bigger investment in comparison to the current we have, given the higher renovation costs. And it is a step we need to take for us to strengthen our branding with one design for all shops. And just like Kaison or Muji or Mr. DIY, our hope is that it may solidify our brand image as the biggest affordable crockery shopping experience for all the customers.
How did the family members strategize on revamping the business? Or the discussion brought back home and was everyone involved?
We had continuous discussions on it any time of the day, whenever we are together, and most of the nights I would spend 1 to 2 hours in my parents' room discussing our future pathway, new promotional strategies that we should implement and so on. So yeah, much discussion was brought back home, but I would usually be the one discussing it with my dad, as my sisters are usually busy with their studies.
Would conflict happen between siblings and parents due to different opinion? And how did the family come to an agreement on the opinion?
I don't think there would be conflicts during the discussion. Every night, opinions will usually be rationalized on why it is not applicable or why the alternative is better. We always seek to improvise the ideas, as there is never one single answer to it. So as we agree on it, we will always improvise the idea on the next dinner, or whenever we see some articles or videos online that is relevant, we will share it in our WhatsApp group chat.
Is the success of revamping business model shared among family members who participate in generating ideas, or solely on the individual who is initiating them?
Well, yeah, it is most certainly shared among members. My dad would usually bring us out onto a better dinner whenever the responses are good. But for whoever that is initiating the plan, my dad would pay us a certain percentage of the sales, which was good, as money is the thing motivating us to move forward so that we can, make a betterment of our lifestyle. There will never be a double standard, be it a son or a daughter, and that everyone is paid equally in accordance to the tasks we do.
So I'm going to ask you questions about the emotions and values. And then for the first question, as you are currently the only sibling working for your father, would jealousy arise between siblings when you are paid highly? If so, how does your father resolve these conflicts?
Okay, so I think I am the only one who is continuously involved in the business, but my siblings would usually on and off help with taking products pictures, help to be the cashier if we have staff shortage, making advertisement and so on. Jealousy would not exist, I think, as I would usually just buy whatever my sister wants, however expensive it is, as I always thought of my income to be a backup fund for whenever the business needs. So we always have the concept of business is a reflection of us. So yeah, fortunately there was no conflicts on jealousy.
If your siblings happen to join the family business like you, how would your father go about dividing the task and salary?
Like I mentioned, salaries are based on commission on the works we do. So as an example, we would usually have a basic of 3.5k, and a commission would be 20% of the profit every month solely for online businesses. So I would keep tab and calculate end of the month, then message my father for it. He wouldn't check it. So as for retail, it would be only 5% of daily sales, as there is more costs involved, like rental and wages. So if my sisters are involved in the online sector, then we would count the days they are involved, and half of my commission goes to her.
Does working with family members make day-to-day operations simpler and easier?
I guess it is that we can openly discuss without holding back feelings. Conversely, if it is only employees, we would hold back to whatever we say. So, because it might hurt the feelings of employees, which is unhealthy for the business. We are very much accepting on opinions as a family. So yeah, it makes not just our day-to-day operations but our lives as a family better, since we are adults now and we are able to make rational judgments.
What are the values that your dad have taught you while running a business in general? Do you think they are ethical?
There are two values. So the first value is that we would be treating everyone the same regardless of the race, the gender orientation, your education backgrounds, or if they have emotional problems. We only measure one's capability on their performance based on how much they can bring in for the company. So this was actually a very ethical value, as while I was bringing my staff over to a DHL career at Sungai Wau, she had mentioned that my father was very good to everyone and that she appreciated my father's act on treating the employees the same even though they are not Chinese. So it makes my day better when our actions are appreciated by others. Also, during MCO, when companies are laying off employees and our employees couldn't work, my dad has chose not to reduce their salaries although they are not working. My father always tells us that now that we are doing well and above, employees too have their own expenses to pay, and without income they will be suffering badly. So why not help out others while we can and we are able to.
Are the value for running the business same as your family value?
Yeah, definitely. Just like I said, business is a reflection of us, so whatever we do in our normal lives, the disciplines would be reflected on how we run our business. Also, doing charity, helping others, friends or extended families is just how we would help our employees. So when you treat someone else well, in return they will treat you good as well.
Do you wish to continue the family business legacy in the future?
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely I'll continue. But our concept of family business is that how we can sustain long-term wealth to be brought over generations to come. And this is applied to my siblings' future family as well. So if we come to a conclusion in selling this current company, we would for a good price. And with that cash on hand, we will be able to create a new business, which we had one currently on mind, which will be the third revamping of the business. So we will always think about how we could sustain a long-term good lifestyle. That's all we think of for family business.
What would happen to the business if no one from your generation takes over?
Okay, let's say if no one takes over the business, I think my dad might sell it towards any competitors who wishes to take over for their own children. So as we had connections with the Ceramic Committee of Malaysia, so it wouldn't be hard. But yeah, I have no thoughts of working under someone, so definitely I will be continuing the business.
Okay, so this is going to be the last question that I will be asking. Do you think your father would retire even though he had passed the throne to you?
I talked with my father on this, but he has no thought of retiring. He said that it will be torturous and disgusting for him to stay home. He always have a young mind, so I think he would still be coming by the office for short hours, like 3 to 4 hours a day, to look around. As you know, it is a business he built from ground, and it is like a second children of his, and I have no problem with it.
Well, thank you for the answers, and I would like to thank you for joining us for our interview. Thank you very much.
Yeah,